So Jason Allen from our CBS News Dallas-Fort Worth affiliate joins us now from Vero Beach, Florida. Jason, what are conditions like now where you are? Actually, it doesn't look that bad right now.
No, it's not that bad, and that's great because it was a very long night here. It was a rough night. We're on the backside of this storm now, so we're still getting some gusty winds at times, but the rain, thankfully, has finally given us a break. In fact, enough. I'm sure you could probably see some people back here behind me. That's a good sign because that means that people are able to get out on the roads. They're able to get around. A lot of people coming here to the coast to see what's left here at the ocean. In fact, we'll give you a quick look at the ocean. It's still very churned up, but even better than it was a few hours ago. There's a lot of debris floating around. There's trees. There's portions of people's docks and stairways. There's a boardwalk that's just down the way from us that we understand was washed out. So good news that we could see people out and about. That means power lines aren't down, not a lot of trees down. Power stayed on here the whole time, and now we just got to deal with these gusty winds on the backside of this storm.
And the timing here is noteworthy, and one for being a rare November hurricane. But at the same time, Florida, we heard mentioned, is, of course, still recovering from Ian just a few weeks ago. How has that impacted this storm in terms of how people have prepared?
Well, in terms of being prepared, that was such a huge storm. And this one came in. I know that people were cautious, but Floridians kind of looked at it as, oh, it's a strong tropical storm or maybe a small hurricane. So we were just talking to some people saying we didn't even bother boarding up for this one. I know that was a concern for public officials, especially for people in low-lying areas, that they might just kind of shrug their shoulders at this one. And we have heard some reports. There are some homes in areas along the inland waterways and rivers that have had some flooding damage this morning. Just talked to a restaurant owner who says he has water in his restaurant. There's one of the bridges here we understand is still closed. So the impacts were significant. We did see some people preparing with sandbags, but maybe not quite the mass preparation that you might normally see if this was, say, earlier in the season and one of the first storms coming in.
Nancy mentioned that a November hurricane, it doesn't happen very often at all. Can you give us a little more information about just how rare this is, why this is happening now?
Yeah, I think you got to go, if I'm remembering my numbers right, all the way back. It's maybe the third one that's made landfall this late in the season, all the way back into the mid 1800s. We see a lot of these that'll spin up, and you get the blobs this time of year, but it's rare for them to come from this direction, come on the coast. You'll see them pop up in the Gulf of Mexico and maybe a little further south. They just don't make it this way. But as we've seen in past seasons, especially this one, this was a different one where this season started so late in the year. We didn't really see a lot of activity until we even got into August this year. So it's extending. Some years we get them earlier, some years we get them later. It just shows that the seasons are getting longer and you have to stay prepared the whole time.
Yeah. Jason Allen, thank you very much for joining us this morning.